Hello everyone, this is Dr. K. Jagannayaki, Professor in MBA Department, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. So today I would like to discuss with you how to measure and how to find out the significance of elasticity of demand. So today's topic is measurement and significance of elasticity of demand. So after going through this topic, the learner will be able to understand the significance of elasticity of demand, importance of elasticity of demand in managerial decision making, and methods to measure elasticity of demand. So coming to the significance of elasticity of demand. So let us start elasticity of demand in distribution. So it has an important role to play in the determination of the rewards for factors of production in a price enterprise economy. For example, the demand for labor is very elastic. The efforts of trade unions to increase the wages will not meet with success. On the other hand, if the demand for labor is inelastic, as there may be little scope for automation, trade unions can succeed well in getting the wages raised. Rewards for other factors of production also depends on their elasticity of demand. So, next, elasticity of demand in international trade. So, the concept of elasticity of demand forms the basis of international trade, particularly in terms of trade, which implies the rate at which a domestic commodity is exchanged for foreign commodities. So, while calculating terms of trade, the intensities of demand of the two countries requiring the product of the other country should be considered. So, in terms of trade depends on the mutual elasticity of demand of the two countries for each other's good. So they used to think about the globalization policies, outsourcing, tariffs, import cost, customs, freight charges, documents, insurance, exchange rate. So origin, law, all these together comes under international trade. Then elasticity of demand in foreign exchange. The fixation of exchange between two currencies of the two countries mainly depends on the elasticity of demand for imports and exports. In deciding devaluation and revaluation of the domestic currency, the authority should make a careful study of the elasticity of demand for the country's exports and imports and accordingly fix the exchange rate to correct disequilibrium in the balance of payment. So, demand for foreign exchange is domestic demand for foreign currency. The demand curve for foreign exchange is negatively sloped. As the exchange rate rises, the quantity demanded of foreign exchange falls. So that we can see in the graph. The next, elasticity of demand in nationalizing an industry. It is used to enable the government to decide whether an industry can be declared as public utility to be nationalized. If the demand is inelastic for the product of a monopolistic concern, it is clear case of declaring as public utility and the government can nationalize the concern and operate it. Elasticity of demand in public finance. So elasticity of demand is of immense use to finance ministers to formulate taxation and economic policies. In imposing a tax on a commodity, the elasticity of demand of the commodity should be carefully studied to find out the effect of taxation. Then importance of elasticity of demand. The elasticity of demand is important because of the following reasons. It helps businesses to fix the price of their products, helps in maximizing the profits, help in pricing a substitute. Businesses can learn how to allocate the cost of production when they know the price elasticity of demand. Then, in the determination of output level, for making production profitable, it is essential that the quantity of goods and services should be produced corresponding to the demand for that product. Since the changes in demand is due to the change in price, the knowledge of elasticity of demand is necessary for determining the output level. So, in the determination of price, the elasticity of demand for a product is the basis of its price determination. Basing on the elasticity of demand, whether it is positive or negative, accordingly, the companies they use to fix the price to their commodities. The ratio in which the demand for a product will fall with the rise in its price and vice versa can be known with the knowledge of elasticity of demand. So if the demand for a product is inelastic, the producer can charge high price, whereas if the elastic demand product, he will charge low price. So the knowledge of elasticity of demand is essential for management in order to earn maximum profit. Next, in price discrimination by monopolist. Under monopolistic discrimination, the problem of pricing the same commodity in two different markets also depends on the elasticity of demand in each market. In the market with elastic demand for his commodity, the discriminating monopolist fixes a low price in one market, and in the market with less elastic demand, he charges a high price. In price determination of factors of production, the concept of elasticity for demand is of great importance for determining the prices of various factors of production. So, factors of productions are paid according to their elasticity of demand. In other words, if the demand of factor is inelastic, its price will be high, and if it is elastic, its price will be low. In demand forecasting, the elasticity of demand is the basis of demand forecasting. The knowledge of income elasticity is essential for demand forecasting of producible goods in future. Long-term production planning and management it depends more on the income elasticity because management can know the effect of changing income levels on the demand for his product. In dumping, a firm enters foreign markets for dumping his product on the basis of elasticity of demand to face foreign competition. In the determination of price of joint products, the concept of elasticity of demand is much used in the pricing of joint factors like wool and mutton, wheat and straw, cotton and cotton seeds, etc. In such cases, separate cost of production of each product is not known. Next, in the determination of government policies, the knowledge of elasticity of demand is also helpful for the government in determining its policies. So, before imposing statutory price control on a product, the government must consider the elasticity of demand for that product. The government decision to declare public utilities those industries whose products have inelastic demand and are in danger of being controlled by monopolist interest depends upon the elasticity of demand for their products. It is helpful in adapting the policy of protection. So the government also considers the elasticity of demand of the products of those industries which apply for the grant of a subsidy or protection. So subsidy or protection is given to only those industries whose products have an elastic demand. As a consequence, they are unable to face foreign competition unless their prices are lowered through subsidy or by raising the prices of imported goods by imposing heavy duties on them. In the determination of gains from international trade, the gains from international trade depend, among others, on the elasticity of demand. A country will gain more from international trade if it exports goods with less elasticity of demand and import those goods for which its demand is elastic. So they will charge more. As a result, they can generate more revenue through imports. And methods of measuring price elasticity of demand. So basically, we'll have three types of methods, four ways of by which we can calculate the price elasticity of demand: percentage method, total outlay method, point method, arc method. Coming to the percentage method is one of the widely used methods for calculating demand price elasticities where price elasticity is calculated in terms of the rate of percentage change in the quantity requested to the percentage change in price. The price elasticity of demand can be mathematically expressed as PED is equal to percentage change in quantity demanded to that of percentage change in price, where change in quantity demanded, it is the difference between new quantity Q2 minus initial quantity Q1. So initial quantity into 100. Change in price equal to new price P2 minus P1 and initial price P1 into 100. Therefore, PED is equal to delta Q into delta P into P1 by P1 into Q1. Coming to the percentage method, for example, when the price of a commodity was 10 rupees per unit, the market demand for the commodity was 50 units a day. When the price of the product dropped to 8 rupees, the demand increased to 60 units. The price elasticity of demand can be evaluated as PED is equal to percentage change in quantity demanded to that of percentage change in price. So if you substitute in the formula, we'll get -1. In comparison to supply price elasticity, demand price elasticity is often a negative number since the quantity requested and the product share price are inversely related. So it implies that the higher the price, the lower the demand, and the lower the price, the greater the product demand. And second method is total outlay method. So this method developed by Professor Alfred Marshall, the total outlay method, also known as overall cost method of calculating price demand elasticity. The price elasticity of demand can, according to this approach, be calculated by comparing the total expenditure on the commodity before and after the price adjustment. So we can able to evaluate the performance of a particular product before and after price adjustments. So we can get one of three results when comparing the expenditure. They are the request of elasticity would be greater than the unity of EP is greater than 1. The total expenditure rises with a decrease in price and decreases with a rise in price. The value of PED is greater than 1. So here price rises, the overall spending or outlays shift in the opposite direction. The elasticity of demand will be equal to unity, EP is equal to 1. If in response to a rise in the price of the commodity, the overall expenditure on the commodity remains unchanged, the value of PED would be equal to 1. The elasticity of demand will be less than unity when EP is less than 1. The value of PED would be less than 1 if total spending decreases with a decline in price and rises with an increase in price. So here the commodity prices and overall spending are going in the same direction. Then third one is arc elasticity. Arc elasticity is the sensitivity of one variable to another between 2 points on a curve. It is often used in the context of the law of demand to measure the inverse relationship between price and demand. So that is the reason, as in case of law of demand also, we used to have arc-shaped curve. So arc elasticity measures the responsiveness of demand to price changes over a range of values. The magnitude of change in price and demand is divided by its midpoint to arrive at a measure of change over a curve rather than at a point. So arc elasticity calculated by the formula, arc elasticity is equal to percentage change in quantity demanded with respect to midpoint to that of percentage change in price with respect to midpoint. So percentage change in quantity demanded with respect to midpoint is calculated as D2 minus D1 by midpoint D, whereas the percentage change in price with respect to midpoint is equal to P2 minus P1 by midpoint P. So let us calculate arc elasticity for an equal dollar price increase and decrease. Case 1, price increases from $6 to $8. The quantity demanded decreases from 40 units to 20 units. Whereas second case, price decreases from 8 rupees to 6 or $6, the quantity demanded increases from 20 units to 40 units. In both cases, arc elasticity remains at 2.3. From here, it is evident that a price increase or decrease of $2 indicate the same sensitivity of demand for a company's customers. So D2 minus D1 by midpoint, 20 minus 40 by 30, you will have 0.67, and P2 minus P1 by midpoint P, you will get 0.21. Hence, the arc elasticity is 2.3, 0.67 divided by 0.29. Why use arc elasticity? Arc elasticity is useful for larger price changes. It provides the same absolute elasticity measure when prices rise and fall. Then applications in pricing. Arc elasticity is an alternative approach to measure elasticity rather than using price elasticity. Based on whether elasticity is equal to, greater than, or less than 1, demand is considered unit elastic, elastic, and inelastic. Elasticity of demand can be used to understand a customer's willingness to pay and price products in a way that maximizes profit. The next one is point elasticity of demand. Point elasticity of demand measures the elasticity at a point on demand curve. Mainly, it is the ratio of percentage change in quantity demanded of a product to percentage change in its price calculated at a specific point on the demand curve. Then point elasticity is defined as the measure of responsiveness of the quantity demanded or supplied of a product to its price variation at a specific point on the demand or supply curve. It plays a crucial role in understanding elasticity in business and also in managerial economics. Point elasticity in business studies measures the sensitivity of the quantity demanded or supplied of a product to changes in its price. It's a valuable tool for assessing price sensitivity and helps guide pricing and production decisions. The central idea behind point elasticity is the percentage change in quantity demanded or quantity supplied relative to a percentage change in price. It provides a complete or detailed information about elasticity at a specific point on the demand or supply curve. For example, if you take the concept of point elasticity is commonly used in business studies to evaluate changes in demand or supply responsive to prices. And here how you can compute it, the formula of point elasticity of demand is E is equal to dq by q and dp by p, where E is the point of elasticity demand, dq is the change in quantity demanded, dp the change in price, q initial quantity demanded, p is initial price. You may interpret the absolute value of E as follows. When E is greater than 1, demand is elastic. When E is equal to 1, the demand is unit elastic. When the absolute value of E is less than 1, demand is inelastic. Then coming to the examples of point elasticity in real life business, it is not just an academic concept but is frequently applied to real world business situations. Its value lies understanding how demand responds to varying prices, thereby acting as a useful tool when setting up prices or pricing strategies, even if you are going to predict the consumer behavior in various situations. That can be possible with the help of point elasticity. Then coming to the role of point elasticity in business market dynamics, the point elasticity concept, it plays a crucial role in understanding and reacting to market dynamics. So market dynamics means the forces that influence prices and behaviors in markets. So point elasticity can shed light on various facets of market dynamics. They include competitive positioning. So customers are quite insensitive to its price changes. It is a characteristic often associated with a strong brand or unique product offering. Then second, revenue and profitability. So where we used to discuss about the business could increase the price further without greatly impacting sales value, leading to higher revenue and potential profits, assuming costs remain constant. And next, supply considerations. It includes sourcing raw materials. From where do we get the raw materials? What are the sources of raw materials? And inventory management, how we are going to manage the various forms of inventory and production processes to maintain or increase profitability. So that's where this point elasticity is useful in market dynamics. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.